Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Many Thoughts with Dr.T. I hope y'all are feeling good. I can finally say I am officially caught up now. It took me a couple weeks, but I'm here. After this one, I'll be caught up. And then next week, I think it's one more episode. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. In the first scene, Joshua sits down with Tamerras and Chambriel and lets them know finally that he plays professional football. So Joshua says he was hesitant to let the ladies notice because sometimes it can change the way they view him and treat him. So this is why he's kept it a secret until now. Okay, and this is what episode 11. Um, y'all don't misunderstand me, right? Like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really not. I told you I really football is my life, like for real. I love NFL and NBA, but I really love the NFL. Like I don't miss a game. Like Sunday is football. We got Monday night football, Thursday night football. Like we watching all the games in here. You see what I'm saying? And so I know I'm not saying I know every single player on every single team, but if you are a starter for a team, like I know who you are, right? So when he said he played, I'm like, I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? I guess what I'm trying to say is it is gonna sound messed up, yeah. And I'm not I just don't think I think he's putting too much on it. Like you ain't that type of player. He's coming off as if like, yeah, I'm a football player and I got all this money, so I gotta be careful out here. And it's like you don't even be playing like that. And to back this up, I said, before I come on here and tell these people this, let me go check. Okay. So I think he's played a total of 6 years, which, and let me say, it's commendable. Like you in the 1% of the 1% if you even make it to the NFL. So please don't misunderstand. Like great accomplishment. Um, but you could just I was looking at his stats and stuff, and it's like you not that. Like you don't be playing like that. And I said, you know what, let me see how much money he's made. And so over these 6 years, he's made a total of $3 million. To me and you, that's like, oh my God, I get it. He make way more than me, and I understand. But when you're talking about athlete money, that's nothing. And then you talk about you got to pay your agent, you got to pay taxes. You probably ran and got you a car, a house, all this stuff, clothes, chains. He might have walked away with 1.5 million, maybe. He might have like a meal, maybe. I'd be surprised. Okay. If he still has that, even that much, I would be very, very surprised. Because when you're young and you're getting that type of money, you think you're always gonna get it. So you're not thinking, okay, I need to be investing, I need to be saving. You're thinking, oh, I got this check. Okay, cool. Car, mama, what you want? Brother, I got you. Boom, boom, boom. And then I was just looking at his career and kind of just, went downhill. I think he got hurt one year. I think I think in 2023, he got picked up by the Commanders, but they released him like right before the season started. So I don't even think he's played. I don't know when they recorded this show, but I don't even think he's played like that in the last year or two. And he's been honest about that, saying he's a free agent, and a free agent means you don't have a team. Okay. And I'm not trying to make this a tangent, even though I am making a tangent. I'm just saying that I don't get why he was hiding this information. Now, if he was one of them ones and he was a starter, and there's some guys out there making 30 million a year, 50 million a year. Now, if he was making that type of money, I understand. I get it. Like, I want to make sure you know me for me, but I'm like, you're not that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking two different things. I'm thinking maybe in the past when he was kind of the checks were kind of rolling in, somebody hurt him, right? They found out he had money and they were, doing the most. And then when he got hurt, when he's not on the team, then they dropped him. I think that's might be what happened, and that probably scarred him deeply, and that's why he's real protective. But I'm like, you're not that anymore, so you don't even gotta worry about that. What I would have said, "Hey, ladies, first episode, I used to play football. I wasn't a starter or anything, but I did okay, and I'm proud of myself for getting to that level. But unfortunately, I didn't get to make like a bunch of money, like you might be thinking. But either way, I'm happy, I'm proud that I made it to that level. But now, I'm kind of having to transition to the next phase of my life, life after football. I would have said something like that. So it honors the fact that, yep, you did play, but it also lets them know, no, I'm not rich. I don't have it like that. And yes, I'm about to have a real job here soon. You see what I'm saying? So I think I don't know if he's in delusion and thinking that he's trying to make an NFL comeback. It sounds like he was like, yeah, I'm training and are you ready for this life? And I'm like, you haven't played in 2 years. It's over. But I do know that it can be hard for athletes to not even hard. That's like a real thing because you gotta think, and I'm gonna get off this show. I just love sports. So just flow me with me real quick. If you made it to the NFL, if you made it to the NBA, that means more than likely you've had that ball in your hand since you were probably like 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? All the camps you've been in, all the AAUs playing. I mean, that's all you've known for years. So you can imagine being 26 and somebody like, yep, it's over. Get a real job. Like you're like, what? But that, that's all I know. You see what I'm saying? So I get it. I get it. And I just think he hasn't come to the realization yet that it's over and that you can't keep identifying yourself as an NFL player. And you gotta transition to the next phase of your life. So yeah, that was just my thing. I was just like, why are you harping on this so hard? But anyway, Chambriel, you could tell Chambriel, she wasn't feeling this. She kind of like, why were you keeping this from us? She kind of had a stank face. um, I don't think she liked the sneakiness of it all. So I can kind of see. And then she also was like, she also let us know that she's dated high profile men in the past. So it's really not phasing her. That's not really a big deal. It's not a flex to her. Y'all, I feel like this is even before I seen the whole episode. I'm as I go through this, I'm telling you what I'm experiencing in real time. I seen the twinkle in Tamerras' eye. I really did. She was like, "Wait, you an NFL player?" Like that's what I seen in her eye. And she was like, "I mean, because I think I check a lot of the boxes, and the ones I don't check, I'm gonna figure out how to check them." I was like, "Okay, this might have been what he was talking about." That's just what I was picking up. Could be wrong. All right, so then we move over to Chad. So with Lauren out of the house, Paige is not feeling secure because she was wondering who Miss Katina was going to let go. And she's wondering if she was supposed to still even be at the house. Like, was she going to be one of the ones that were let go? And then we hear audio of Chad telling Jasmine, because he was still in that room, in that bedroom, telling Jasmine that he's not attracted to Paige at all. He is such a bad person, y'all. I told y'all. I clocked it. I knew it. I told y'all, I think he likes Paige as a homegirl, but I never thought they had chemistry like ever. So this just confirmed that piece. So now Jasmine feels awkward. She feels awkward that Chad is telling her how he feels about Paige and the other ladies in general. And she pushes him to tell Paige how he truly feels instead of leading Paige on. She thinks that's messed up, especially since she has to be around Paige and pretend that she doesn't know this information. So now it's almost causing her to be fake. So Chad laughs and says he could, but he's not going to, and he does what he wants to do. Um, Told y'all he was crazy. Um, Remember when was it Paige? Like, yeah, I loved it. You just stand on what you believe and you don't change. I told y'all that was not a good trait. He's stubborn, so we're continuously seeing that. And then remember he was talking about all that stuff about revenge and payback. I told y'all that's not good. And it's like how mean to not let her know that you're not into her. Like, why not? You know what I'm saying? That was really mean. The way he just laughed, like, yeah, I ain't doing it. It's like, dang, that's really messed up. It's like you're literally wasting her time. You're playing with her emotions, and you think it's funny. That's not good character. And Jasmine is so young. I don't know. She was what, 25. I mean, what do you know at 25? I don't know if she knows all the red flags to look for. But you could tell that deep inside she was battling with that. She was like, something about this don't feel right. Like, so I did like that she was at least experiencing the emotions. And y'all, this is just something important. If you're dating, this is what came to mind when I seen this scene. And I think this is, I'm not gonna say the most important, but this is one of the most important things I tell people, like when you're dating, to look for. One of the most important. At the end of the day, right? Like at the end of the day, my husband wants me to be happy, and vice versa. At the end of the day, okay, he wants me to be happy. He loves me, okay? So if I ever come to him and tell him something that's bothering me, and I'm not talking about no nitpicky type stuff, I'm talking about something serious, where I come to him and say, something you're doing is bothering me, or something that's happening is bothering me, he's going to try his best to make it right. It might not happen overnight, you know what I'm saying? Just depending on what it is, it might take him a while. He might have to process it and think through it. But most generally, he's gonna try to make it right. Because if it's bothering me like that, then it's bothering him, and he wants to make, you know what I'm saying? He wants me to be happy. And same thing, I do the same thing with him. So if you're ever with somebody and you bring them something that's really bothering you, and that person was like, well, you're gonna have to deal with it. I don't know. That's just who I am. You know what I'm saying? If they on some that's just who I am type of stuff, you need to run. Okay. That is a telltale sign, because marriage is forever. It's too long to be with somebody that's like that. You see what I'm saying? So that's something you need to figure out when you're dating. And I'm not talking about you bringing them 15 things every day. I'm talking about some, serious things that may be happening. And you're like, hey, I don't know. It could be, mm, maybe your man is going out, he be going out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday with his homeboys or something. And you're like, hey, I really wish you could spend more time with me at the house. You're like, well, I mean, I've been going out with my homeboys before I met you. So if he on that type of stuff, it's not going to work. You got to be able to bring something to somebody and them to hear your heart and to make a change. Again, if it's something serious. So when Jasmine brought that to him, like, hey, this kind of making me feel awkward that you're telling me all this stuff about Paige, and then I gotta be in Paige's face and laugh and act like it's not happening. Can you stop? You know what I'm saying? That's an easy one. That's a layup. All he gotta do is be like, oh yeah, you know what? It's just so much going on. I don't really have a lot of people to talk to, so I dumped it on you, but I was wrong for that. And you're right. I'm not gonna do that no more. Easy. Okay. Nah, I mean, whatever. I mean, I was just like, he not it. He is so not it. But anyway, so then the next scene, and that's another thing. Men be doing this too. They'll act like they're not hearing you, and then they'll take your advice on the sneak and act like it was theirs. So I feel like that's what he did here. So he said he wasn't doing that, but then in the next scene, he decided to take her advice and meet with Paige and tell her that he's not attracted to her. So of course, Paige feels upset. She feels let on because Chad made it seem like there were things that she could do to get closer to him, such as be more affectionate. You remember they talked about that. But overall, she felt like he strung her along because he wasn't man enough to tell her the truth. This dude looks so goofy, y'all. Like, why is he always standing like? And then he got like the shifty eyes. Like what is wrong with you? He's just missing something. I still can't quite find a word for it. I don't know if it's charisma. It's not even charisma because you don't have to have. Everybody doesn't have charisma, but it's just like normal everyday banter. He just almost like he's a robot or something. Like if she's in the kitchen, he like, all right, I want to talk to you. Like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So yeah, they talked through the whole thing. I really felt bad for Paige. Because we seen it the whole time. It's like he's not into her at all. So I really felt bad for her because I think after they had that date and he was like, yeah, just be more affectionate. I think she thought she might have had a chance. And then even with Loren leaving, I know she was like, oh, okay, I got a 50-50 shot, when the whole time she didn't. And so I felt bad for her. And always trust your intuition because Paige knew something was off the whole time, but I think she was trying to ignore it. So, ladies, always trust your intuition. She was right. That's the thing. He wasn't into her. Um, and then Chad is like, he did low key try to gaslight her and throw it back on her like it was something she did wrong. But like I always tell y'all, just take accountability. It was me. I did wrong. I'm sorry. I did lead you on. You're absolutely right. I was wrong for that. I messed up for that. But of course, he couldn't do that. So then we go back over to Josh. So Josh takes Chambriel on a date, ATV riding. He didn't know if she would like getting dirty, but she actually really enjoyed it and leaned into it. Afterwards, they sit down for a bite to eat, and Chambriel says she doesn't look at Joshua any differently now that she knows he's an NFL player. She says she has dated high profile men before, so this is nothing different for her. And I believe it, y'all. I believe her. Um, the only thing about this, I keep thinking about what that brother said. Remember when his brother came? I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before last when they had that cookout or that seafood brawl, and his brother was like, "Yeah, she's perfect for you in every way, but she's not your type." I just keep thinking about that. I'm like, ah. So I don't know it, and I agree. I think there. I think I love the chemistry. I love all of it. But again, I just don't know if Josh will be able to get past that and do something new. So a part of me feels like he's not. So in the next scene, Joshua takes Tamerras. I don't know if it was a date, but took her to learn how to ride a bike for the first time. I thought this was really nice of him. This is so me. I would so do something like this. I'm the type of person I love like listening to little things and then gifting somebody something or doing something nice for somebody, just to let you know that, somebody really sees you. Somebody's really out there listening. So I love that she talked about that and then he did that for her. But part of me was like, dang, riding a bike is kind of difficult. Like, I don't know if she's going to be able to learn like on the spot like that. But she did. I guess when you're an adult, maybe you get it quicker. But yeah, I thought that was really super, super cool that he did that and she was able to learn how to ride a bike for the first time. So then Joshua and Tamara sit down and have a little snack while they talk. Joshua is feeling suspicious that Tamaris is all of a sudden being more affectionate. And he's wondering, is it because she told her he's a pro athlete or if it's because they're coming down to the end. Then that night, Tamaris goes to Joshua's room. So they had the night cam. They showed her going into Joshua's room and she gets in his bed, which furthers his suspicions. Um, like I said, y'all, I seen the twinkle in Tamaris's eye, so I think Joshua is on to something with this. Because all of a sudden she's like all on him and hugging him. All of a sudden she wants to get in the bed. He might be right about that. But the hilarious part is Tamaris is gonna be so disappointed when she finds out that he's not in the NFL anymore. He's not going to be in the NFL anymore, and he don't got the type of money you thinking, sis. So you gonna be real disappointed when I ain't even gonna say when you gonna have a real regular lifestyle because she's probably thinking like, oh, I'm about to be in furs, I'm about to be on trips, we about to be doing this and that. No, sis, you're not. Um, so I'm with him. I think he might be on to something, but I also think, like I said, he has some trauma that he needs to get over, and he's really in his head. He's gonna have to deal with that, or he's always gonna be suspicious of women in the future. First of all, I think he needs to realize that the NFL dream is over. I think that's step one, and I think he needs to process that. Okay, what are you going to do now for money? What is it? I think he's in fashion. He likes fashion, so I think he really needs to get into that and figure out where he wants to go. But yeah, you can tell. I think he has some trauma. I think somebody really hurt him bad. Um, like I said, my theory is he got with somebody. He was like, "I'm this big time NFL player." He got hurt because I was looking on his seasons and everything, and it was like he got hurt one year. They probably couldn't play. The money probably wasn't right, and they probably dipped. Might have even left them for another athlete because a lot of those women run in the same circles. I'm just making up a whole storyline, y'all. I don't know. Okay, so then it's the last day in the house, and Chad sits down with Jasmine about what happened last night with Paige. And Jasmine is starting to wonder if Chad only likes her for her looks. But Chad reassures her that it's more than that. And he lists off a lot of really nice qualities about Jasmine that he likes. I thought that was nice. He tells Jasmine that he is interested in dating outside of the experiment. Um, but Jasmine declines and says no. Y'all, I didn't see that coming. First of all, good job to Jasmine because she's so young. I was like, she probably gonna go for it, and I wouldn't have faulted her. She's 25, but I said, okay, come on, Jasmine. So, good job to her. I wish she would have given him feedback in the moment. So she gave the feedback to us in her confessionals. But I wish she would have told him the same thing she told us. Um, I like how she thought through it. I like how she processed what was going on. Because she was thinking, like, wait a minute, if you would treat Paige like that and gaslight Paige like that, and even treat Loren like that, what's to stop him from treating me like this when things go wrong? So I like how she thought through that and was like, he and it's like y'all in a fake environment as well. What happens when y'all are in real life? And so I'm glad that she did that. And in the end, it just shows, Chad just doesn't have true empathy for people. He can easily cast you to the side and disregard you if he disagrees with you. I think we've seen that throughout the season. Um, so like I said, I was impressed with Jasmine to be able to think through that and make that tough decision at her young age. It would have been easy to just say yes because you're on a show, it's the cameras, you don't want to embarrass him, all the stuff. So for her to be like, nah, I'm good on that. Especially after he was in her room and all that. And I know that just stuck a knife in his heart. I know he wasn't expecting that, especially because they had gotten so close and he was confiding in her and all this type of stuff. So he played it good. Um, but I will say, y'all, that Jasmine needs to watch her back. Did y'all see how he was looking at her when she walked off? And he had that goofy look like. I was like, all right, Jasmine, you might need to get some security, sis. I hope he don't know where you live and know your real phone number. So in the final scene, Chad had and his mom sit down to talk. He tells his mom that he went on a date and how it went, and he lets her know that Jasmine did not want to date him outside of the house, but that he's fine with it and he's just gonna move on. So his mom is disappointed that he's not showing any emotions and that he has a wall up and that he's not convicted about how he treated Paige. Because she was really close to Paige. I think she probably would have picked Paige for him in the end if it was her decision. So he's not convicted about how he treated Paige, or he's not being honest about the rejection he feels with Jasmine. Chad says it's hard for him to be vulnerable and tap into certain emotions that people expect him to have. Crazy. Um, and it's like, Miss Katina, I feel you, but you weren't there. You see what I'm saying? You weren't there to raise him in his formative years. Because remember, y'all, he left, was it seventh grade or something like that? So maybe, I don't know how old you are in seventh grade, 10 or something like that, 10, 11, 12, something like that. So that's like when you are starting to have a little girlfriend and develop these emotions and know how to treat women and talk to women and all of that. He was in California with his dad or something. You see what I'm saying? So you weren't there. I get what you're saying, but I mean, you weren't there to help him develop those type of things, and give him the motherly advice that he probably needed. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I don't know why he like that, and I'm gonna get out my belt, and I don't know, and it's like you probably weren't there to help him develop that. So you got to be easy on the judgment. Um, I probably said this about everybody on the show. Chad needs therapy. We all need therapy. Because I remember in the first or second episode, I can't remember verbatim, but he said something about how he basically had to raise himself or something like that. So they had some trauma, some traumatic stuff going on. I don't know what's the deal between his mom and his dad, what was happening there, but you can tell that maybe when he was growing up, he had to develop some really strong barricades around himself, figuratively speaking. Um, and maybe he just learned, like, I gotta look out for myself. I gotta be for self to protect myself in this toxic environment that I'm growing up in, maybe. And maybe that's where that comes from. Because, that's why it's so scary, y'all, because I'm like, every time you see these shows, you can mess up your kids, man. Like every trauma goes back to, well, when I was 5, my mama said or daddy didn't do or this had happened. I'm like, Lord, you can really jack up your kids out here. And so I just be praying like, Lord, don't let me mess up my kid. But yeah, I think he really went through a lot growing up, going back and forth to different households and whatever was happening where he felt like he had to raise himself and all this stuff. And I think he just developed like some really strong defense mechanisms that he's going to have to go to therapy to try to break down. Cuz you can definitely see the empathy is just not there. He cannot feel for other people. He's always for self. And if this is what I want to do, that's what I'm going to do, and I don't care, and I don't got to do anything somebody tell me to do. And, so he's going to have to do some work to get to the point where he can be in a healthy, functioning relationship. All right, y'all. So that was the episode. Like I said, it was kind of shocking. I did not expect that from Jasmine at all. So I guess that's the end of their storyline, Chad's storyline. So I'm guessing in the last episode, we're gonna see what Joshua and James choose. All right, so with that, I will be back next week. I hope you have a great weekend. See ya.